There's only one better way to understand how we practice full strength Chinese medicine than taking these new full strength Chinese medicine seminars. And that is observing us in the clinic. You can do that at any time all year long. And nothing is more important than watching skilled practitioners treat in the clinic and have them talk to you about why this and not that. Why not this? Why including this? Explaining their herbs and formulas, talking about the different cases and the evolution of patients that they're seeing. We have observation available on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and then longer. But I strongly encourage, if you have the ability to come for 2 weeks. That means 2 Monday through Fridays in a row, so that you can see patients coming and then see them returning the following week for those patients who are weekly scheduled, to see how dramatic those changes are by implementing what we call full strength Chinese medicine, using tangible acupuncture, using clinical Chinese body work that's clinically focused, seeing those dosages of herbs and the patient response is it revolutionizes a practice. That is the number one thing we hear when people observe us is they say, oh my goodness, I had no idea there was this breadth or this depth or this possibility. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know you could use that much of an herb, or just those two would do it, or a formula like this would be blah, blah, blah. What I've realized is, as I've been training people for so many years, what is the difference? People have taken courses, and I will be very honest with you. The teaching of techniques is now clearer than it ever was when I was learning. I spent years and years and years, and if a patient didn't come in with that problem, I didn't see that strategy, technique, or formula. And then that patient would come in and they'd be like, and I'd say, oh, and they'd say, oh, of course, that's what you have to do for this patient. And so the creation of the non-essential needling techniques or flavor nature in the clinic of herbs or the clear strategies of treatment of body work, that is something that never existed when I was learning. The other big difference, though, is that my learning was spent watching my teachers treat patients day after day, year after year. And so my ability to look at a patient and see their qi and blood, their yin and yang clearly, and then knowing what to do is based on those many years of experience. And if there was any missing link in terms of how to go from I'm new to this idea of wanting full strength Chinese medicine to I'm very comfortable with it, aside from the pathology that I'll be teaching in London, it's spending time in the clinic. It is seeing it so that you can see when shifts are done, when more or less is chosen for a patient. Nothing is more important than observing practitioners, not just us. As I've said in the past, I challenge every respected and good clinical practitioner out there to open their doors, to allow people to come and to watch. And not just watch, but then make the commitment to explain to them, either before their patients or at the end of the day, what really happened, why choices were made. Because if you look at any of the big names of Chinese medicine, they'll talk about, oh, they trained in China, or they were the disciple of this person. They spent clinical time with their teachers. I spent clinical time with my teachers. And it is not possible to get to a certain level without going through the same steps the teachers did. Our teachers trained under their teachers. We trained under our teachers in the clinic. And now it's time for the next generation in the West to understand that you have to spend time with your teachers in the clinic. It's not enough to go to China and see 70, 80 patients in a thing, because they're not practicing what you practice. They're not implementing the skills, using the herbs and talking a language of tangible acupuncture, of flavor nature herbs that you are learning. And to see what you are learning in real practice and to have someone who knows what you have learned and say, here, this, in that seminar, do you remember, is critical. That is what I think is really the only glass ceiling that exists between getting a certain level. And that is clinical exposure from teachers who have taught you what you are also learning and practicing on a skills and theoretical level. So please, whether you join us in our clinic or you challenge the teachers out there to open their doors and allow you to visit them because it's critical, please take advantage of the fact that there is an open clinic. You can learn in this open clinic and you can see Chinese medicine in practice, which is really what the practice is all about. That's 2020. I look forward to seeing many of you across the world in Germany, Zurich, London, Baltimore, Asheville, San Diego, New York. It's going to be a fun year, a lot of travel, and some great information. Thank you.